Hi Libra, happy birthday and welcome to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your October 2020 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. Regarding personal readings, I'm still taking a break from those, but if I start them back up again soon, I'll make an update in the community section of the channel. As far as what we have in front of us, we have the Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled a couple of oracle cards and a Mudra card for you guys. So we'll get started with the main spread. Main situation position, we have the Tower. Probably not the best of birthday gifts, but I actually didn't get too heavy of a feeling with this card. So for some of you, this might be something more of planned, I would say, however weird that may sound to say with the Tower. Basically what I mean by that is I feel like you guys would be the ones who actually would enact this Tower moment for the majority of you. But I do have to say, just be mindful if you're not actually looking to enact the Tower moment. Be mindful of, especially for those of you who watch this when I first post it, right when your season's going to start, there's going to be a tense aspect where you're going to have Mercury in your sign, opposite Mars in your opposite sign of Aries, and then they're basically going to all be making a T-square with Saturn in Capricorn. So that's pretty heavy energy right there. In the way you would think of the Saturn lending some stability to all the volatility, but with them all interacting in that way, that could be a pretty intense aspect. So you can expect to see some things go off the rail around that time. So, and then for those of you who don't see this until October, that might be, if you look back on that time, that might be exactly when this Tower moment may have happened for some of you. So just be mindful of that if you're not actually looking to end a situation abruptly. Just be mindful of those transits and understand also, especially for those of you who watch this after the fact, that it's just mostly the energies that play. You know, it happens. I don't see this as necessarily something that would have a drastic impact on your lives, though. For those of you, this can be weather related for some of you. I'm in the southeast. We still have the hurricane season, of course. Obviously, out west, there's already some situation with fires, so hopefully that's not what's taking place for some of you in that regard, but just be on the lookout for those types of things. So, for example, if you're in an area where they tell you to evacuate, I would say definitely try to do so. Don't, hesitate in that regard. Protection-wise, you guys can get some black tourmaline or something along those lines to just carry around with you. That might help as well with the environment. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Yeah, I basically said in the beginning that I didn't see this as that heavy of a thing, then I pretty much contradicted myself for the next 3 minutes. So sorry about that. But yeah, I'm really not feeling this is too heavy, though. Again, for the majority of you, I feel like for the majority of you, this is going to be something that you actually might be taking action toward. In the challenger obstacle position, we have the Knight of Swords. This is actually the court card for Gemini. So this card tends to pop up a lot for me. For those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, you probably are familiar with me saying this, but this card tends to pop up a lot when we have a Mercury retrograde situation coming up. And this month, there will be a Mercury retrograde actually in the sign of Scorpio. And the reason why I say this makes sense to me when this pops up during Mercury retrograde is Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And if we think about the position of the horse, they're running toward the past position in a spread. So that makes me think of Mercury when it goes in its opposite direction, right? So makes sense in that regard. Now I will say, if we look at this in the context of the Tower, with this being the challenger obstacle, could just be saying that there could be miscommunication that could lead to a Tower moment. So again, if you're watching this ahead of that, obviously we're not going to be in that Mercury retrograde until around the middle of October. It'll be in shadow before then, but keep in mind that there is the potential for miscommunications to happen. So again, if this isn't a Tower moment that you're actively trying to create, a situation that you're ready to just leave, keep in mind that there is that potential for some misunderstandings with communication, and that retrogrades can actually be taking place in your second house. So this can be related to finances for some of you, possibly career thing. You might decide that you just want to leave a job all of a sudden, for example. So just be mindful that these are the energies at play. I already warned you guys, and you probably heard about it from other astrologers as well. There's definitely going to be some tense energies going on as Mercury moves through your sign. and makes all those tough aspects with Mars, Saturn, Pluto, you name it. There's a lot going on, even Jupiter. So yeah, that's what we have there. In the foundation position, we have the Hermit and the Ten of Swords. So more Gemini energy here, and then the Hermit actually represents the major arcana card for Virgo, which for you guys is 12th house. And trying to think with these two cards in particular, this can say, especially for those of you, again, like I said, just try to be mindful that those are going to be the transits of play. So for those of you who do want to actively leave something behind, by all means, looks like you'll get your way in that regard. But for those of you who aren't looking to end something, seeing the Hermit here, given that that represents your 12th house, I feel like this would be one of those situations where if there is that ending and you're not aware of the situation, this would kind of show you reflecting back on what happened. Like, okay, what exactly took place here? Given that that's 12th house energy, you might not see where the ending came from. So it can blindside some of you, but I feel like with this representing the 12th house, it's basically saying that you probably might play a pretty active role in it. And that's something that I felt from the beginning, regardless of what tower situation it is, where I feel like for a lot of you, you're going to be playing a role in it. But seeing these two cards come up in the foundation could just be telling me that you might not actually see clearly that you did play a role in that ending. So I view this as almost like the aftermath of the tower, where you're looking back on it like, okay, what just happened there? And again, like I said, with the astrology at play, it's actually kind of obvious where that can take place. And like I said, especially right around at the start of your season, in particular, that's when the energies are going to be the most tense. In the past position, we have the Four of Cups and the King of Wands. So this is Cancer energy here, which is your 10th house. So we do see another indicator that this can be related to career. And then with the King of Wands, that represents your 11th house. So it can represent groups, for example, friendships. So yeah, with these two cards coming up, this can just be saying that it's possible that you guys had possibly an offer for a job and you might have declined it. You might not have been happy with it. You might have felt like the boss in that area, or this could have been a job you were already in, because like I said, some of you might decide to abruptly leave a job. It could have been what it was. Maybe they've been making offers to you. Maybe you were requesting a raise, for example, or promotion or something along those lines, and you felt like whoever your boss was being a bit uncooperative with you. That's what I see there in the past. This could also be a timeline thing too, where maybe this was a situation where there was an offer around the time of Cancer season, and possibly leading into Leo season, where you kind of were digging your feet in and not really trying to move forward with the situation at that time. And then, of course, this is a romantic situation. Can this be possibly a fire sign that might have been making offers toward you that you might have been declining, or vice versa? In the present position, we have the Four of Wands in reverse. So this is pretty much where Mars started its retrograde. It's actually those last 10 degrees of Aries. I'm just going to put this in the upright while we talk about it. This actually is where Mars started its retrograde. It's going to be in those degrees for a pretty good chunk of October. I'm pretty sure it's not going to get out of those degrees until around mid-month, maybe even a little bit after that. So with this in reverse, this obviously representing your opposite sign of Aries, this can be around relationships with some of you. So maybe this tower moment for some will be leaving a relationship behind. If that's the case, it looks like this is a solid relationship at one time, at the very least. This represents that expansive energy, a lot of luck behind it. To me, it's a combination of Mars, Jupiter energy. And to be fair, like I said, there's going to be some interplay with those planets too, as things move through your sign this month. But yeah, so for some of you, I feel like this, especially given that this is in the present position and this is an October reading, for a lot of you, I feel like you're going to experience this tower pretty early on, and it's, for a lot of you, can be related to relationships. Now, keep in mind, seventh house, we often think romantic relationships, but it's partnerships of all kinds. So again, this can be related to your career as well. Seeing this in reverse though, and then especially what stands out to me too, is if we look at the red and the blue, that's what we also see in the tower card as well. This looks like some kind of partnership might actually go through an upheaval for you guys. All right. In the near future position, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So this is actually the major arcana card that represents Jupiter energy. And Jupiter, I'm pretty sure, I think it just went direct recently. So, you know, in that regard, I don't necessarily feel like it's pointing to that, because Jupiter is going to be gaining momentum this month, even though it's going to be, making some, like I said, tense aspects, whatever things going on. But this could just be saying that this is a timing thing. So you might feel like you're down on your luck for a bit, with that tower moment. Like I said, for a lot of you, I really do feel like it's career for a lot of you and finances. And it could partially be the fact that we do have that Mercury retrograde that's going to be taking place in your second house. But also the fact that I see that Cancer energy there, which for you guys is your 10th house of career. But yeah, you could just feel like you're down on your luck for a bit. I don't necessarily feel like it's going to be too long-lived, but with this in the reverse position, could just be saying that you might feel like whatever goes off the rails with that tower moment, you might feel like you can't fix it right away. And if that's the case, I mean, we've pointed to plenty of astrological energies already that would indicate that, yeah, that, could be par for the course, but however weird it may sound to say, try not to freak out if you can. And then we also do have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck too, so that could definitely be saying that Mars might be wreaking a little bit of havoc for you guys this month, given that this is the major arcana card for Aries, which is again your opposite house, or opposite sign rather, and that's also where Mars is retrograde, so look out for that. And your influence in the situation, we have the Death card. So this is another thing that I saw when I was laying the cards out too, that made me feel like for a lot of you, it might be you guys who are actually enacting that tower moment, whether very consciously or subconsciously, because I mentioned that 12th house dynamic too. So I feel like a lot of you actually might be the ones who are bringing it about in some way. I don't necessarily mean that in a negative way, but I feel like for some of you, this could be a very deliberate thing where you're like, yeah, you know what, I need to get out of this situation. For others of you, it might be more of a subconscious thing where you're just going through the motions. And like I said, there's a lot of tense aspects that are going to be taking place for you guys. It's not going to be your average birthday season, quite frankly, with all those heavy energies at play. So, you just might be feeling a bit out of sorts and could cause an ending in that way. But yeah, with this year, it looks like you're definitely ready to move forward and have some change in your life. So it stands out to me too is that background there. Actually, it usually doesn't draw my eye like that, but that looks like the moon card background as well. So yeah, there could just be one of those situations where you might not be seeing things too clearly. So again, just be mindful. Just try to be a little more alert than usual this month when you're making decisions. In the environment position, we have the Seven of Cups in reverse. So good news is if this represents your energy, because again, the environment can just represent the energies at play exerted on you, or it can represent the energy of someone in your environment. So if it's the first, which is to say that, maybe for some of you this is saying that this is your energy, having this in reverse could just be saying that even if it's not until after the tower moment takes place, it looks like some clarity will come through for you with the Seven of Cups in reverse. When it's in the upright, I always point out that from our perspective, of course, we could clearly see everything that's in those cups, right? But this person here is quite literally in the dark. So could just be saying that this person might be in a fog. They might not see what's in these cups, whereas we could clearly see that. So when it's in reverse, could just be saying that there could be some clarity that comes through for you. So like I said, for some of you might be after the tower moment, whether it's something you're deliberately planning or not. Looks like there will be some clarity coming through this month. But yeah, I do have to emphasize that for the vast majority of you, I feel like this clarity is going to come through after that Tower moment. If this represents someone else, same thing. I feel like this is saying that they're seeing a situation pretty clearly. Um, Now, on the more positive side, this could just be telling you that if you might feel a little bit out of sorts on something, you could possibly consult someone in your environment for some guidance, because it's saying that, there might be people in your environment where you might not be seeing the situation clearly at all. They might be seeing it very clearly, and they might actually be able to chime in with some positive feedback for you guys this month. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Six of Cups, Five of Pentacles, and Ace of Pentacles. Interesting energies here. I mean, these almost couldn't be more opposite, and ironically, they're almost literally opposite, because this is Scorpio energy here, but it's the middle 10 degrees of Scorpio, and this is the first 10 degrees of Taurus. So there is actually some opposition there, but these two energies come out together. I have to read it as this is a hope of yours. So for a lot of you, I feel like if it is an ending of a relationship, it probably wasn't the goal for some of you. And then in that case, I could see why this would be a hope of yours, right? Oh, I hope I can get back on track with this person. If that's the case, I'm going to assume that the Five of Pentacles is clearly a fear. And what I do have to say, with if that's the case with the Ace of Pentacles showing up here beneath that, it does have to say that, yeah, it might require a reset, but at the same time, karmically, it might have been what needed to happen anyway, for you guys to start over, essentially. Because if we think about the Tower, it's usually something built on a faulty foundation. Five of Pentacles, sometimes point to this as often we hear this as the card of being left out in the cold, but also I point to it as the sickness and health. A lot of people have that in their wedding vows, right? Because it looks like the people technically are still together. It just looks like they're going through a really rough time. So it could just be saying that you guys might have needed a restart. So it could be one of those things where the Tower moment, especially since I was saying I didn't get a vibe that it was going to be something really serious, could just be one of those things where you guys might have a blow up with each other, right? Like I said, those energies at play could definitely point to that. And it could be one of those things where it actually, for example, this death card in that sense could represent, okay, you got it out of your system, you're good to go, right? Maybe this was something that needed to be said a long time ago. It finally gets said. This person now sees the situation clearly as well, right? With the Seven of Cups in the reverse, saying, okay, maybe we both were looking at things a little bit backwards, right? We got it out, maybe not in the most healthy way possible, but hey, sometimes the energies will force things out that way, especially with squares and oppositions. Okay, we know where we stand now. You could get that fresh start. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Hanged Man. So, Piscean energy here. Toward the end of the month, actually, well, for a good portion of the month, you're going to have Venus, which is your ruler, in your 12th house. I think at the very end of the month, it's going to move into your sign. So this could be pointing to that as well, where you're like, okay, you're reevaluating, trying to find your footing after that moment, looking at things from a different perspective, a higher perspective, and could just be just settling a little bit, the calm after the storm, if you will. So that's what I'm seeing there. Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. I feel like I said, for whatever your situation, I feel like this could be obviously a blow up, right, with the Tower moment, but I feel like it could actually set things straight. So no one ideally wants it to come to a Tower moment, obviously, in any situation. But whatever the case may be, because even if it is finances, right, and you go through that bit of a rough patch with that Five of Pentacles, with that Ace of Pentacles, it does say that there will be an opportunity to start over. So I don't see this as anything that's going to have like long-term ripple effects or anything like that. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be comfortable. It doesn't look like it would be too comfortable, but I feel like you get the wheels rolling fairly early on. Like I said, it could very well be at the very end of the month when you guys get Venus in your sign, given that you're ruled by Venus, that's definitely going to be a more beneficial transit for you. So hopefully that will resonate. Moving on to the oracle cards. First we have soulmates. There's the artwork, and the number is 41. Okay, it says harmonious partnerships, love, friendship, companionship, a relationship fostering personal growth. The oracle's message: you are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always a reciprocal experience, although the results for each of you will vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you toward them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gifts. So definitely an interesting message there, and hopefully that resonated with you. The relationship message says, consider love in its deepest sense, love so powerful that you will never be the same, regardless of how long your relationship lasts. Consider friendships and romantic bonds so compelling that they overwhelm you with gratitude, or break you open so you will finally claim who you were meant to be. Even a companion animal reminds you that it is you who is being rescued and healed. Pay attention, for you are in the presence of a soulmate, come to guide you home to the real you. So an interesting message there, especially the part where it says break you open so you will finally claim who you were meant to be, because that makes me think back to your reading for September was about claiming your power. So maybe that's what this was too. Like I said, as far as karmically, it might have been a reset that the two of you needed, right? Like maybe you needed to stand up for yourself in some way around some situation. And like I said, with those transits, it might not have come out in the most healthy way, but I feel like with this Seven of Cups being in the reverse, that's kind of the key in the environment. Whether this represents you seeing things clearly after that moment, or the other person seeing the situation more clearly after that moment. With those cards we see there, it looks like there will be the chance for a fresh start. So, for those of you worried about it just being doomed forever, I don't necessarily pick up on that vibe. But I mean, you could check out the love reading I do next week too for more guidance there. But yeah, I don't see this as something that would be. I don't get a vibe of finality around it, unless that's what you want, of course. But yeah. The prosperity message says, strategic alliances are most important right now as you begin to attract the perfect people to support your dreams. This is a journey you will share with others. Mentors, business partners, helpers, employees, creative partners, friends, and strangers open doors for you and step through the portal to join you in a harmonic dance of collaboration, commitment, and co-creation. This is what you've been waiting for. So an interesting message there, because again, that was making me think back to what I was saying with that Seven of Cups in reverse, where I was saying if you feel like you're not seeing things clearly and you're possibly worried about a tower type situation, there might be some people in your environment who might be seeing your situation more clearly than you are. So it might be a good time to reach out to others in that regard, as long as you trust them, of course. All right, moving on to the next card, we have Ant Spirit. It says time to collaborate. There's the artwork, and the number is 1. Okay, it says when Ant Spirit comes to visit, it's to celebrate the benefits of working in a partnership with others as part of a community or tribe. Spirit reminds you that to build your dream, you need to work with others, accept help, and trust in your most important partnership, the one you have with Spirit. Your intentions will come to fruition if you remain awake and focused on co-creating your reality with others and with Spirit. Remember that the world around you can easily seduce you if you don't have some sort of practice or discipline like meditation to keep you on track as you build the life you desire. Connecting with others and having accountability partners can be very helpful, as it's unlikely that everyone will fall asleep at the same time. The other message Ant Spirit holds is that you are now at an auspicious time to ask for help and receive it, Whether you need help assembling a team, finding a new tribe, or requesting assistance from others who are there for you, everything is working to support you right now. So yeah, another message there that makes me think of what I was saying with that Seven of Cups in reverse. If you do go through some kind of a tough situation, like I said, even if it is related to career, romantic relationship, whatever the case may be, it looks like there might be some people in your environment that could help you see a situation more clearly and possibly even lend a helping hand in that regard too. And that could be what that Six of Cups is pointing to, like if you guys are going through a bit of tough time, could just be saying you're hoping for someone to reach out that helping hand to you, but could just be saying you might have to actually ask for it, but it looks like it will be there for you. Something to keep in mind there. And finally, we have Mudra card. So the Mudra you guys got this month is Hamsi Mudra. There it is there. And the keyword for it is illumination. All right, there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says removes obstacles in one's life, eases depression and sadness, evokes feelings of lightness and laughter, benefits the lungs and large intestine, improves assimilation of nutrients and elimination of waste. So if that sounds like something that'd be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of the Mudra in the description of the video as always. Like I said, guys, there's going to be some intense energy around for you in your birthday season. Like I said, astrologically, it's there. We could clearly see it. But I don't think it's going to last for you guys too long. And like it says, if you need to reach out to others in your environment, it looks like they will be there to help you. Hopefully that all resonated with you guys. Once again, happy birthday. I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.